I swear. Put on my headphones and this cat runs right over here to jump in front of the screen. Yes, this is a shirt from yesterday because I'm working today. Quit, Nibbles. God dang it. Okay. Move, 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 move. Thank you. All right. There we go. Sorry, I was trying to get that over there where it needed to be. Nibbles, move. Quit it. Um, this is more true than anything. And for those people who don't know anything about narcissists, well, whatever. You shouldn't be hanging out with Tara. Uh, she's a raving narcissist. All right. Um, this is going to reference some other videos. I'm not going to attach them. I was going to write this out. It's going to take too long. I'm not going to spend as much time debunking this stuff that's been debunked 10,000 times. All right, if you go watch the video where Tara's in red, I believe the video is called Honesty. It's on my YouTube page. It basically says that, hey, Tara has a problem with honesty. She says right there in that video, she can't tell the truth. Now, in Delusion Video 1 or Delusion Video 2, whatever, we're sitting out here on the porch and I'm talking to her, and I'm pretty animated about it because it's just irritating to deal with her. And I'm like, you admit you can't tell the truth. And she goes, yeah, because you throw it back in my face. Okay, so Tara admits she can't tell the truth. The next thing is, both the delusion videos, you need to watch those very closely because Tara hangs on to a delusion. Okay, a delusion is something that never happened. Understand that. She reads that document. Quit! Why do you keep doing that? Sorry, he's just being a pain. All right, so she reads that document where it says A, B, C, D, and she goes, see, it says X, Y, Z 13. And she just keeps repeating it. And then when you narrow her down to the point she's finally like, well, that's just the way I perceive it because I've got brain damage because that's called blame shifting. It's common for narcissists to do that. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to have to run through this quickly because I don't want to spend too much time doing this. All right. Tara unblocked Gail. Gail's her sister. And I don't know exactly why. I think it was so that she could announce the first time she had sex with her new boyfriend and all that crap. It's just typical narcissistic bullshit. And Gail actually kind of blocked her back on the first account, and then Gail had to remake her account for some reason. I don't know why, and she forgot to block Tara, or maybe she did block Tara. But anyway, around Tara is right here in her incognita account. Okay. Now, Tara in all these text messages is going to admit she's got a third account where she talks all this shit about me online. So all you people are thinking, oh, well, you're saying all this nasty shit about Tara online. Well, Tara's going to admit in these text messages, you're going to see it if you watch this video all the way through, where she has a third account where she's been talking shit about me for 8 years. Now, and somewhere in all these messages, I didn't find it on a quick read through. I'm not going to put that, like I said, I'm not going to put that much time in it. She goes in here and says, well, I didn't know about narcissism before February when I got sick and they sent me to counseling or whatever. That's total bullshit. I've got text messages from back in her and Suzanne in 2015 saying about the narcissistic stuff. And her sister said it too. She goes, for 8 years. She goes, way back in 2015 even, when they were still talking back in 2015, she kept calling me a narcissist. She sat right out here on the porch and called me a narcissist. That video's up there. Go watch it. All right, so we're going to break down some of the videos, this crap that she pulled. I'm going to try to go through it fast. You can check with Gail about some of these stories. You can check with Katrinka about some of these stories. There's going to be the video about Katrinka is going to play into this about the abuse, And she tells this story here about Gail's relationship and, oh, how they're similar and blah, blah, blah. They're not similar at all. Gail told me straight up what happened in that relationship. She's been in the hospital. She's had stitches broken. I mean, Tara's like, well, he beat me all the time. And it's like, really? Hi, guys. Okay, I get it, man. Boy, I was pummeling her face in all the time. And how many pictures did she post of that? Huh? I mean, oh, well, I didn't want to. It's all bullshit. And you're a fucking idiot for believing it. It didn't fucking happen. All right. So maybe around she's trying to do a similarity. This is a type of hoovering effect called mirroring. She's trying to make her situation and Gail's situation the same. Gail says later in some of these text messages, and I've talked to her on the phone, she goes, these situations are nowhere near the same. She goes, even if everything she said was true, it's nowhere near the same. So, just whatever. And then she, of course, does this. Can't you see what's happening right before her eyes? See, that's guilt shaming. Can't you recognize the similarities? Gail's like, no. It's part of a smear campaign. You're intelligent enough to know it and recognize it. In other words, it's guilt shaming again. And let me explain what a smear campaign is. A smear campaign is when I turn around and say, well, Tara was, shoving hot dogs up her butt. Not true. Didn't happen. Okay. Oh, well, this happened. Tara was, I don't know. I can't even make anything up, to be honest about it. Nothing on those videos is fake. Yeah. Oh, he triggered me to act that way. No, that's how Tara acted behind the scenes all the time. When you people were not looking, okay? That's why I started recording it. That's why my doctor told me to start recording it, because that's what Tara's really like. Go ask my little brother, okay? Go ask any of the people we lived with, any of our roommates. They will tell you that's what Tara's like in reality, like it or not, okay? You've got this little perception. She got y'all, you fooled. Oh, she's a nice person, blah, blah, blah. No, she's not. She treated me like that and worse all the time. Okay, that's another thing I'm going to tell real quick. This is a story told to me by my either my doctor or my therapist. I don't know. I talked to so many of them now. Maybe around, and I don't even remember the guy's name. It doesn't matter. Their names don't matter here. John was getting ready for a business party. He told his wife, Susan, he berated her. You dumb, verbally abusive on her. The salad plate to take all the cherry tomatoes and cut them in half. Okay. So she took them all and cut them in half, crying, blah, blah, blah. This is important to John. We're going to get this done for John. Right. Then they get out in the party. Okay. And everything's acting nice. Everyone's being nice and things. And someone says, well, why did they cut the cherry tomatoes in half? And he goes, oh, that, wife of mine, place it off on her. Well, she freaks out and runs off. It's called a trigger. Yeah. Tara used to do that to me in front of people. Let me tell you a story of that one, because I like this particular story. Tara had left to go get sandwiches, Subway. Guests came over, okay? And Tara had a real good habit of giving away my stuff, right? Especially food. Now, we've got a food problem. I've always had a food problem because me and Tara were poor enough to be homeless and foodless for a while. But just reality, things that happen, okay? So she rolls in and she goes, oh, well, maybe you can share your sandwich with them. She's standing there with her sandwich, and here's my sandwich, and she's handing it to me going, give them your sandwich because I'm keeping mine, son. Typical with Tara, trust me. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And Katrinka even said something about that because Tara, they would go down here and they'd buy some pretty expensive stuff for Tara for her birthday. And then Tara would show up 5 hours late for her own damn birthday party. I mean, seriously? That's typical narcissist bullshit. I were around then Tara for what's her name's birthday, and they didn't say anything about it. I mean, but Tara told me about it. This is how I know that she went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of dollar store bullshit and stuck it in a basket. It's just kind of like, okay, I mean, yeah, and I know it's the thought that counts, but really, yeah. Either way, that's typical with Tara. All right, right here. This is Gail, her sister, saying that everything she said about that was a lie. Yeah. So her own sister calling her out on this stuff. And oh, after having endured all this abuse. Yeah, okay. She keeps claiming my first reaction was to get violent. Okay? That was not true. When she started shouting at me, I shouted at her. When she hit me, I hit her back. You bet I did. There you go. Full, complete admission. Matter of fact, the first time I ever hit her, believe it or not, okay, she ran, and I did, I punched her. I was trying to go to the bathroom. We'd been drinking. She kept standing in my way. I kept trying to go around her in the hallway. I had to piss, get out of my way, and I just took her and scooted her to the side. Okay, big guy. Yeah, okay, and I could do that. Should I have done that? No, but she shouldn't have blocked me trying to go to the damn bathroom either. She slapped my face and I punched her, just like that. Martial arts. Been taking it for years. That's what happens. Yep. Knocked her clean on the damn floor. Yep. Went to use the bathroom and I was like, why? You know? But until you've endured this kind of narcissistic brainwashing, this abuse cycle they put you through, that shit becomes normal. And it shouldn't be. And I realize that now. That's another thing I'm gonna think, well, that'll come later because it's in these section. That's it. So either around, this is the dribbling, and if you read Tara's stuff, she's always back and forth. Oh, well, I've got ADHD or whatever. Doesn't matter. What she does is she intentionally changes subject back and forth because it confuses your brain. She does it on intention. It's a learned response, a way that she's learned to trick you into believing what she wants you to believe. Okay. Oh, if I called you a murderer, damn, I apologize. I remember when she called her a murderer. I do. She was on that vegan crap so hardcore, and so she had her mind so twisted around that crap. I mean, she did. And that's why they stopped talking, you know? Okay, and here we go back with this gun. Oh, I've had all this bad things happening to me. It's like she just leaves out all the interesting facts about it, doesn't she? Go over there to my page and you'll see her admit it. It's still pinned on the front of my Facebook page for a reason, okay? You need to pay attention. Tara will lie. It's called a lie of omission. She forgets to tell you all the details about how that gun got put to her head. She had abused me so long and so hard, I was getting ready to commit suicide watching that movie. I really was. But I said, I want a relationship like that. And I don't remember what she said, and I admit that. Okay. I'd been drinking, everything else. All right. And she said something that I was like, yeah. And I put the gun in my head and I was like, how about if I blow my brains out? What do you think then? Because I at least at one point in my life, I'd realized, and I've realized it now again, that she didn't care about me at all. And she said something rude about, just go ahead and do it then and quit talking or whatever. And boy, that pissed me off. And I jumped up, I put it to her head, and I said, maybe it'll be a murder-suicide. It was a dare. Go ahead. Say something like that again. She didn't do it, thankfully, because I may have pulled the trigger at that time. I fully admit it. She had abused me for so long, I was ready to kill myself. Okay? You guys want to believe she's a nice gal and, oh, I did all these abusive things to her? Fuck you. That ain't what the fuck happened. Okay? So she forgets to leave that little part out. And it's just like all of our fights. When I pushed her, yeah, she pushed me, I pushed her back. That wasn't the right way to have a relationship, but I was so abused. I was so into this toxic cycle. Go read about narcissism. I was so drawn into it that that was just normal. And it is not normal. And I woke up to that. And all you people are like, I don't understand why he's putting so much energy into this, because I woke up to 36 years of toxic abuse from that fucking bitch. That's why. Get your head wrapped around the whole story, will you? All right. Gaslight me every single day, things I said, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not going to read all that. It's not worth reading. Go over and look at the thing about Katrinka, where Tara's standing on the porch and going, Katrinka wouldn't respect me and she abused me. She verbally abused me, so I cut her out. Ugh. Yeah. Go talk to Katrinka. She's on my page. She'll be happy to tell you. I think she even responded to the video. They had an argument about who went to school, something, something, something. Tara calls that verbal abuse. Let me explain something. If you disagree with a narcissist, okay, they consider it abuse. You cannot contradict Tara. It's Tara's way or you're abusing her. Give her a try if you don't believe me. All right, because a lot of you people have been blocked. Guess why? Same thing. There was no verbal abuse around here. Okay? I mean, it just didn't happen. I got to the point where I refused to engage Tara a lot. She would come in and tell her stories, and I would just sit there and wait. Oh, this guy in this truck cut me off, so I cut him off and slammed on the brakes, and he tried to go me the right, and I jerked and talking about this high-speed road rage incident where he finally got her trapped somehow. So she got some big survival knife, and she acted like it was a gun. So you got back in the car instead of whatever. I mean, there you go. But don't listen to me. All right. Bunch of bullshit. How we're talking about. Okay, this is the one from the back porch. Now, first of all, my back porch camera cuts out. It takes more motion to get the thing to trigger, and we wasn't moving around a lot, so there were big parts of the conversation not there. She says, "Oh, we had a respectful conversation." No, we didn't. Okay, you can sit there and watch me on the video. I'll end up posting parts of it. I still got that stuff to do or whatever. I'd be sitting there and saying something. She goes, "Well, you kept abusing." I'd be like, "Okay, Tara." Because I refuse to engage her in these arguments. There's no sense in telling her, I didn't abuse you. You're full of shit. You made it up. You're lying. But again, there's no sense in it. Okay. Well, on the 13th of June at 14:52 p.m., you blah, 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 blah. She can recite things like that perfectly. Yeah. Because they're bullshit. She made them up. But then you ask her what she did 10 minutes ago. She goes, well, my brain's scattered. I don't know. Yeah. Bullshit. She's just lying. Outright lying. The conversation in her ideal, in her mentality was that it was a good conversation. It was respectful because we didn't shout at each other. Well, we didn't shout because I refused to allow that to happen. It's that simple. What you see on the back porch, and that's another reason I'm going to post the video, what you see on that back porch is how I treated her around here all the time. I refused to engage her in this toxic behaviors. That started several years ago. I posted about it. I refused to do it. And for a narcissist, that cuts off their food supply. That's why she started having the affair with Jose. And that's why she, having an affair with whoever it is that she's groomed over there now. So you guys believe whatever the hell you want. All right, now, this victim of childhood environment. All right, and I actually talked to my therapist about this. A narcissist, and we're going to handle that in just a minute about the 16-year-old girl. A narcissist is able to convince you of things that didn't really happen. It's the way the manipulation works. I know you'd think you wouldn't be able to do it, but all you followers of Tara, she's already done it to you, whatever you want to believe. All right. Tara was abused. All right. Now I've talked to her brother, and abuse was nowhere near what she claims it is. Right. So, you can either believe her brother, who lived right there beside her when it all happened for all those years. Okay. Or you can believe Tara. And Tara's going to say, don't talk to my brother because he's just like my dad, blah, blah, blah. She will gaslight you into not believing her own brother. If you're dumb enough to do that, here's your Kool-Aid. So she tries to claim that I am a victim of a toxic environment. And that's a fucking lie. It really is. Did I have the best coping skills in the world? No. Was my family dysfunctional? Yes. Name some family that's not dysfunctional at some level. Cousin Eddie always showing up and, drinking too much and whatever. My dad never hit my mother, ever. My mother was always, and my mother would tell you, I wish she was still alive where she could, she would tell you straight up, she knew not to punch certain buttons with my dad, but just shut up, walk away from him. Okay, unlike Tara, that intentionally punched my buttons to get me mad and swing and everything else. You bet. That's how it works. So, but my mother was smart enough not to do that. So there was never any violence in that family. It was dysfunctional as far as, I think they still loved each other at some level, but it was dysfunctional. But I talked to my therapist about that, and she goes, you sound like I had a decent, childhood. And it's like, yeah, I did. My family, but the only thing that got to was that when I got with Tara, my mother cut off any and all support for me. And that's because my mother could see through Tara, and she couldn't tell me about it in a way that I'd walk away from Tara. Yeah. Sorry, Mom. I wish I would listen to you. Trust me, I wish. Either way around. So that's total bullshit. She's trying to mirror or force me to believe that my childhood was screwed up too. And that's why we had this toxic relationship, and it's just not true. She, and this is typical of narcissists, you can go read about it. What happens is that she got broken mentally. To her, the abuse was abuse. It was trauma. to her back in the day. Her brother said, man, it wasn't all this, it wasn't that, whatever. And it doesn't matter. To Tara, it was. That's what broke her. Right. And yeah, so either way around, there's that. Right here is where she says this. You guys pay attention. Okay. I had been posting things on my other account for quite some time about narcissistic abuse and surviving in hostile relationships. Maybe for years and years. But remember, in this other little thing that she said that she didn't know about narcissism until this February when she went to counseling. That's because Tara is a prolific liar. All right. Okay, in this one, she says that tried many times to get into counseling. That's another lie. Back on Scripture Street, when we were getting in, after she got in MySpace and started getting associated with these toxic ass people, it always happens. I keep repeating that. She said, and she threw down the gauntlet because she thought I'd say no, is what it was. She'd like, well, maybe we need to go to couples counseling. I was like, okay. Well, I have to look for someone. Okay. Never happened. Guess why? Because if I ever went in there and told the truth to the counselors, guess what would happen? They'd figure out that she was a narcissist. They'd tell me, and I would have probably left her. Yeah, either way. That's just the same stuff as the last one. Let me go down to the next one. Okay. All right. If he did not want a divorce, why did he ask for one? It's like one of my friends wrote to me and said that he's sure putting an awful lot of energy into bashing me when he should have put that same energy into our marriage. Okay. First of all, to your friend, go fuck yourself. You don't know jack shit about this marriage. You don't know what went on behind these closed doors around here for 38 fucking years. So go fuck yourself. Okay. I'd already exhausted all my energy. It says in the Dear Jane letter, for 38 years, this has been our problem. You cut me off from sex. In 2015, I told you, do not cut me off from sex. If you do, we're done. And I told her in 2015, too, I know you're going to do it. You're going to do it again because you use sex as a weapon to manipulate me. You've been doing it all of our relationship. Okay? Look where we're at. That's why I wanted a divorce. Okay? And it's real simple. You say it in Gail here in just a little bit. Oh, well, I'd like to see video of him telling me not to go over there and stay for 4 days. I don't have to have video. I told you not to do it. You decided to do it. Now you're fucking divorced. What you have to your fucking name right now is a car that you ain't going to be able to get inspected over there because all the check engine lights on the damn thing, which means you ain't even going to have it very long because you can't afford to buy another one. Okay? You got a shitloads of cats, and you're in a happy place. I hope so. And maybe you can start growing sunflowers and selling them on the corner. And maybe you can buy a car with it. Whatever. All right. And this is as far as putting that energy into it, I was done putting energy into it. I had exhausted myself. I was to the point it's just gonna, we'd kind of got to the point in our relationship where I thought, if it doesn't get any worse, but it did. And guess what? Yeah, now you're divorced. All right. We both cheated, and that's a fact. This is how narcissists trick you. Okay. I can't say 100% he was cheating, but see how this manipulation works? We both cheated, and that's a fact. That's a complete and total lie. Complete and total lie. I never cheated on her. Not once. I have integrity. She doesn't. Okay. And this is a number one cause. Go look it up for narcissists when they cheat. I felt abandoned. All right. If you felt abandoned, okay, pick your stuff up, get your divorce, and leave. Okay. Don't cheat. All right. 27 times you cheated in our relationship. Okay. You tried to tell Gail, oh, well, I felt abandoned. Gail asked you in one of the other deals, you never answered. It's like, well, if he abandoned you at one time, you had, an affair, explain the other 26. She never replied. Guess why? You can only gaslight people so much. Okay. And she says here, oh, well, I guess he was having more fun than hanging out with his wife. Okay. Where does it say this? I had to get up to go to work in the morning. Fun hanging out with his wife. Yeah, I can sit there and watch you snore. And she forgets to mention in all this that I was with Les Koch. Les is dead, unfortunately. Don Loudon, who is not dead, he's right here on Facebook. Any of you send him a message and ask him. What we were doing at that time is putting a business plan together to try to open Pet Boys up here, believe it or not. And we almost was able to do it. I don't know how many months we worked on that thing. We put a lot of work into that. We had to go out and find business contacts. We had to get people to commit to contracts, everything else, if we open that Pet Boys up there. Okay? But we didn't get it. Damn. That's the way business goes sometimes. But either way, that's where I was at all those nights, planning that business, working on that business proposal with Don Loudon, and he'd be happy to tell you. He wouldn't lie for me to begin with. Okay? And he'll be happy to tell you that there wasn't nobody cheating on nobody. But in her mind, she made it true to justify her doing it. All right. When we moved, his verbal abusive flavor, blah, 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 whatever. That's a load of horse shit. Again, go watch the Katrika video. Oh, you said something I didn't like, so therefore it's abuse. Tough. In this fucking story again. And she talks all this trash. And I've already debunked this thing once. I'll go through it quick again. Tara bruises if you fart on her. Where were the bruises? Well, yeah. I've got cameras everywhere. Where's the camera footage of it? Okay, and why didn't you call the police? Oh, I loved him. I didn't want to. It's all a load of horse shit. It's just like the time she beat her own face in with a tennis shoe. She ended up getting committed for 3 days up at Strap Road. It's a load of horse shit. You guys are dumb enough. She just keeps repeating the story. You finally just believe it. I can't fix stupid. All right. Oh, yeah. This is called hoovering. It's a narcissistic recycle thing. And I don't remember all the times about how we got back together, or why we got back together, or whatever. I know that this time, the one I'm getting ready to talk about was kind of funny. She had found a new guy from where she was working at Wendy's or whatever, and she's trying to tell me about him, and I was like, I don't give a shit. Whatever. I mean, just go fuck yourself, Well, she turned around and came over to my place and had sex with me, and it's kind of like sex, okay, that was hard to convince me, And then while we were talking about all, she's like, well, I had sex with this other guy, and I was kind of like, well, I kind of didn't want to hear that. I don't, I mean, she goes, well, maybe we should need to talk, and she wanted me to come back over, take her back to her place, and I was like, and he was there. At the time or something. I don't remember. I had something in my car that was hers or whatever. He was there. Well, she told me that the reason that she didn't want to date him anymore is because he pooped in front of her. That she was in there putting her makeup on, and the day after, after they had sex, and he walked in there, sat down, and took a big old dump. She was done with him. She had some weird stuff. You're right. And I can't tell you every time how and why we got back together. She's like, oh, when I wanted to move on with my life. Okay, it's like, okay, whatever. She always hoovered me back, and I was dumb enough to do it. And if you don't believe me, go look at those messages from Boyd where she says, please come rescue me. I need someone to help me. But remember, I always came back into her life. Lying little whatever. Believe what you want, folks. Okay. The violation. Yes, let's talk about that. The Dear Jane letter was very clear, and she reads it on that video multiple times. It's posted on the site. It says very clearly, we are not going to deviate from our normal routines and activities. Now, in that, and we're going to go through that. Let's see. Okay, yeah. It's very clear. She come in here wearing headphones, and I'm not, and even Katrinka told me, she goes, I don't understand what the problem with wearing headphones. It's like, you don't understand. It's a trigger. It is something that she has abused me with for so long. Okay, we'd get in a fight, and I'd say, enough, just shut up, walk away. Okay, that wasn't good enough for her. She had to have the last word. Okay, she would turn around to her cat and go, don't listen to that guy. He's an asshole, and say something rude about me. Okay. So what she would do, and I've got video out there where she admits doing it on the porch, but what she would do is put on the headphones, and then she'd sing a song that she knew irritated the fuck out of me. That's what she would do. So I told her a long time ago, Don't wear them fucking headphones in my house. I don't want to hear this. Okay? It's pretty simple. And that was 2 years ago. The last set of headphones she had, I bought because I got a 2-for-1 deal at Amazon. And her cats chewed them up, and she hadn't had headphones ever since. She got mad at me even because I bought these real nice headphones. She's like, I wish I had $35 to buy a pair of headphones. And I was like, well, get rid of some of your fucking cats and maybe you can come up with the money, whatever. But around, so she didn't have headphones. She got those, and she admits on that video that's on the porch, you guys can go watch it. She got those headphones from Barbara because she's trying to avoid conflict. You tried to push my buttons. Here's really what's going on, guys. She claims, oh, I set boundaries, and that's why we've gotten these big fights. It's like, no, that's not what you did. A boundary is, and I told her, don't wear headphones in my house. And I told her, don't go over there and stay for 4 days. Don't cut me off for sex. Those are boundaries. Okay. She cut me off for sex. She told me to just basically go fuck myself. She went over there and stayed 4 days. And then she thinks she's just going to wear the headphones in the house. And I was like, no, you're not going to do it. So that's a boundary. You broke it. Get out. And here's the thing. A normal human being, okay, is going to say, okay, hey, sorry, didn't mean to do that. I won't wear them in your house, or I want to wear them, so I'm not going to go in your house. I mean, whatever. All right. That'd be a normal person. But he stood on that porch and fought with me for 30 minutes about wearing those headphones. Openly admitted to emotionally withdrawing. She does that in a text message. We're getting ready to show it to you. Emotionally withdrawing from me. She goes, I haven't talked to you in 6 months. It's like, I know. You haven't had sex with me either. It's called emotional withholding. It's a form of narcissistic abuse. It's manipulation. I know that now. Anyway, Ram. That's why the agreement was violated. And the Dear Jane letter says right at the very beginning, okay, I know you're going to violate these rules, but I'm going to lay them out anyway. Yeah, look, this is my surprise voice. All right. So, all right. She talks about helping my mom. Tara does. There are 20 documented cases right here at the Wise County Sheriff's. I have to pay to get them, unfortunately, and I'm not going to pay for that. Where Tara was supposed to be up here watching my mother while I had to go shop because my mother wanted fresh vegetables or she wanted some food that I had to get to her. And because she wouldn't eat almost at all, I would go do that. 20 documented cases, Tara was supposed to be up here watching her. And then Tara would come up here or say she was coming up here and I would leave and Tara never come up here. One time, my mother, Ronnie Lee can verify this, my mother packed her bags, okay? And the only thing she put in that bag was cigarette lighters, her cigarettes, and something weird. I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. She walked to my neighbor's, Ronnie Lee's house, and that's a dang good walk over there. Trust me, it's ways over to Ronnie's house. We live in the country. She walked over there and knocked on the door, got them to answer the door, and she said, I've been kidnapped by Iranian terrorists, called 911. Of course, they freaked out and dialed 911. They didn't know who this lady was or what was going on. So I literally left my shopping cart sitting right there in Walmart full of food, and out the door I went, raced home. Yeah. 20 documented times that happened. 20 documented times. Okay. So she didn't help my mother. Right there, you can see it. I knew that was BS because when Tara and I was close, she told me she wouldn't go to your mom's on holidays because she didn't like it there. Plus, I talked to her on the phone when you were over there. Tara didn't like your brother or your mother. She told me that. And you would get mad when she wouldn't come on holidays. Something like that. And that's the truth. Tara didn't like him. Yeah. Big surprise, right? This is God, I was supposed to blank her name out. Either way around. That's not her real name now. That was her before she was married name. Either way, this is her God, aunt, I don't know, whatever. They were informed about everything I did, including Adult Protective Services. I made them give copies of the reports to them. Okay. Or did they? And I tried to get them. Either way around, I know I sent them screenshots. I was like, listen, all that my mom's accusing me of doing all these things and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, we know how dementia patients are. Don't worry about it. We understand, blah, blah, blah. Because my mother would talk to Naomi all the time. Okay. They were always talking. And I appreciate you doing that for her, namely. But either way around, and that, my ex is insane and is lying. They know she's lying about this. All right. And they're mortified. They're actually pretty pissed off about it. But that's another story. All right. No, this is Gail replying back to her. And you guys can read that if you want. It basically, Gail was just shutting her down. You're twisting all these stories. Continue to be the victim. She knows for 8 years or so that she's been talking trash about me. And I mean, no one here, well, the only people fooled are Tara's moron friends. Oh, here it is. This is Tara saying to Gail. It's been clarified many times I basically quit talking to Bill and interacting with him during the last 6 to 8 months. Okay, listen to that very closely. Go read about emotional withholding. And what emotional withholding is the #1 tactic used by narcissists for emotional and sexual manipulation of their partner. There you go. She openly admits it, but you guys don't want to see that. Oh, she was protecting herself. No, that's not how you do it. If you decide, okay, that you're in this situation, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, file for divorce. That's simple. Oh, I didn't have anywhere to go. Well, that's part of divorce. But I mean, divorce is a hard thing to do. Okay, I mean, you're going to have to find somewhere to go. Okay, call your. Oh, there's so much abuse. Call that abuse center over there. They'll put you up for free for like 2 months. They won't charge you nothing. Call them up, say, "Oh man," but here's the problem. The reason she didn't do it is because you have to have documented abuse, and there was none. And she couldn't get any because there wasn't any. Oh, well, because he said bad things to me. Yeah, bullshit. All right. I'm looking for, no, all right. I somehow missed it in here. I need to go back to where she says something. Promises that were never kept. Yeah, I know. She started sexual manipulation just within weeks of moving up here to Crum. I should have dumped her ass then, but I should have dumped her 30 years ago. All right. In here somewhere. Sorry, I'm looking for it. Oh, and as far as bashing you and all that energy, it's because I woke up from narcissistic abuse. This is what it looks like. In here somewhere, she says, I know, I'm looking. Dang it. All right. I know it's in one of these things, and I can't see it real quick. I can't find it real quick. In here somewhere, she tells Gail, she goes, "Oh, it's about those text messages. Dang, what that picture's?" All right, the screenshot for that, I don't see it right now. It's basically her and Gail are talking, and Tara tells her, "I've got all these screenshots and videos of Bill doing all this bad stuff." And I could have swore it was this one. No. Either way around, she claims to have all this bad stuff. And so Gail says, "Well, send me a copy of them. I've seen all the bills." And they are. They're posted over on that website. All of them are up there. And she's like, "Well, I can't find them. I've got a new phone." And I told Gail, that's like, that's bullshit. The moment you log into your Google account, those things stay backed up there. So that's bull. All right. So she doesn't have them. She's lying. Go figure, right? And but Gail and told her straight up. She goes, "Well, send me the video." And she goes, "Well, I've got the one off the porch." And she goes, "Well, I know I've seen the uncut one that Bill posted." She goes, "I'm going to bet yours is all cut up." Tara never sent the video. I wonder why. Tara cut it up to make it look like I was a bad guy and all of that stuff. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. So even around somewhere in all of this, Tara said, he used to send me text messages that were hateful and mean. Most of them started off with, "You don't have the skill set necessary to help me." Right. You don't have the skill set. And I'm sorry to say this, but what do you know about doing electrical work? Nothing. What do you know about running the wires for electrical work? Nothing. Well, if I told you to hand me a 3/8 spanner wrench, would you know what that is? No. What do you know about plumbing? Nothing. Okay. I hate to say this, but when it comes to remodeling a house, all you could do was help me hold wood, carry wood, move stuff around, clean up a little bit. That's the only skill set you had that you could use. Like it or not. I mean, and she's mad about it because of the, because she didn't have the skill set. She's not a remodeler. She got out here and started, I don't remember. She was trying to do something and I don't know. She messed it up so fucking bad. She had to redo it like 4 times and it's still kind of screwed up out there, whatever. I mean, it just is what it is. If you don't have the skill set to do a job, guess what? You don't have the skill set. There's nothing fancy about that. It's just simple fact, right? That's not abuse, believe it or not. But to Tara, of course, it's abuse. Yeah. So we've got that. That's all the effort I'm going to put into this one today. I was going to write all this stuff out. I'm not going to spend that much time. I'm gonna post it over here, and I'll post all the text messages, and you guys can just read it if you want to. I'm not going to put any more effort in it. If you guys are stupid enough to believe her, just keep believing her. I can't help that. By the time I get done with everything I'm going to do, because I have no remorse now, given what she said about my mother, 0 remorse. All the things I'm going to do that I've kind of planned on doing, but no, I'm not gonna cry a bit about doing them now. I'll tell you that. And I've already set her up to go to jail, so and other stuff gets worse, by the way. So if I get away with doing some of this stuff, she'll be locked down for life because of her mental problems. Told you not to do this stuff. Right there in the Dear Jane letter. But nope, you don't want to listen to me. By God, I'm healing. Yeah, well, I've talked to someone new about that who diagnosed you as also having schizophrenia, something you said in one of those videos. And the other way around, there's no cure for that. Oh, and that's something else I wanted to add. Schizophrenia runs in her family. And she's had a lot of her family members commit suicide.